Hey everybody, and welcome to the Deep Dive. So you guys sent us a ton of stuff about prompt engineering.
Yeah.
And I'll admit I was a little intimidated at first.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm fascinated. This stuff is like seriously changing how we work with AI.
Yeah, it really is. It's more than just change, though.
Really?
It's like discovering a whole new way to like communicate. We're going beyond just coding. It's like we're teaching AI to like understand our intentions.
Oh, wow. Okay, so for our listener out there who clearly wants to get a handle on this, let's start with the basics. What exactly is prompt engineering?
Okay, so imagine you're trying to get an AI to write a blog post about AI.
Okay.
Just type in, wrote a blog about AI, you'll get something.
Right.
But it'll probably be pretty generic.
Yeah.
And honestly, pretty dull.
Like AI trying to write its own autobiography?
Exactly. But here's where prompt engineering comes in. Instead of that basic prompt, what if you gave it something way more specific, like write a 500-word blog post about the ethical considerations of using AI in healthcare with a focus on patient privacy?
Okay.
Now you're guiding the AI towards something much more focused and interesting.
So it's like giving the AI a detailed map instead of just the destination.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this is way more than just asking a chatbot to write a poem for your cat.
Right.
Which is honestly what I was thinking before. So why is everyone making such a big deal about this? Why should our listener care about prompt engineering?
There are a few reasons. First, it makes AI way more efficient.
Okay.
Think about all the time and effort people spend trying to get AI tools to do what they want. With a well-crafted prompt, you can get there much faster with less trial and error.
So less time tweaking, more time actually using the AI for what you need.
Exactly. And that leads to the second reason. It unlocks the true potential of AI. These tools are capable of some pretty amazing things, but only if we know how to communicate with them effectively.
Right.
It's like having a powerful engine, but not knowing how to drive the car.
That makes sense. I'm thinking about all those articles you sent me about how non-technical people are using AI to like do these incredible things. This is how they're doing it right. Prompt engineering is like the bridge.
You got it. And that's the third big reason this is so important.
Okay.
It's making AI accessible to everyone, not just coders and data scientists.
That's pretty empowering. Actually, it's like suddenly everyone can speak the language of AI. Okay, so I'm convinced this is important, but now I'm dying to know how it actually works.
Okay.
Break it down for us.
All right. Think of it like this. There are three core elements to prompt engineering.
Okay.
First, you need to understand the AI model you're working with.
Okay.
Different AI tools are good at different things. Some are great at generating text. Others are better at creating images or analyzing data.
Yeah. Okay, so you need to know the strengths and weaknesses of your AI tool. What else?
Next comes the structuring of the prompt itself.
Okay.
This is where the art and science come together. You need to be specific, clear, and use the right language to guide the AI towards the desired outcome.
I bet there's a lot of trial and error involved, right?
Absolutely. And that brings us to the third element.
Okay.
Iteration.
Okay.
Prompt engineering isn't about getting it perfect on the first try. It's about experimenting, refining, and tweaking your prompts until you get the results you're looking for.
So it's more like a dance than like a one-off command?
Yeah.
You adjust and refine until you find the right rhythm.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Can we see some prompt engineering in action, though? I'm a learn-by-doing kind of person. What about our listener?
Of course. Let's look at a simple example like summarizing an article.
Okay.
If you just tell the AI, summarize this article, you'll get a summary, but it might not be very useful.
Right. It could be too long, too short, missing key points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if you add some structure to the prompt?
Okay.
You could say something like, summarize this article in 3 bullet points, focusing on the financial implications for the tech industry.
Yeah.
Now you're guiding the AI towards a much more targeted and insightful summary.
Okay, that makes sense. So the structure of the prompt makes all the difference.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the more complex the task, the more important the prompt becomes. We're talking about getting AI to do everything from writing code to composing music to designing marketing campaigns.
Wow.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing is right. And to think all of this starts with a well-crafted prompt. Speaking of mind-blowing things, let's move on to the tools themselves.
Okay.
I'm sure our listeners wondering what kind of AI sorcery is making all this happen.
Well, it's not exactly sorcery,
Okay.
but it's pretty close. We're seeing an explosion of AI tools that are becoming more powerful and accessible every day. ChatGPT, Claude, Dolly. It's like a buffet of AI goodness.
I gotta say, the stuff I read about Dolly was incredible.
Oh, yeah?
You can literally type in a description like, a robot painting a portrait of a cat wearing a top hat, and it will generate an image for you.
It is pretty amazing, isn't it? And that's just one example.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is incredibly versatile. You can use it for everything from generating different creative text formats to translating languages, writing different kinds of creative content, and answering your questions in an informative way, even coding.
Mm-hmm.
And there are specialized tools for specific tasks, like creating music or analyzing financial data.
Wow, it's like a whole new toolbox for the digital age.
Yeah.
So how do you choose the right tool for the job?
That's a great question, and it really depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
Do you need to generate text images or something else? How complex is the task? What level of control do you need over the output?
It sounds like there's a bit of a learning curve here.
There is, but that's where resources like online communities and tutorials can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
And as you start experimenting with different tools, you'll get a better feel for which ones are best suited to your needs.
Okay, so explore, experiment, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Got it. You know what's really blowing my mind, though?
What's that?
The fact that prompt engineering is becoming a legitimate job. I mean, who would have thought?
It's true.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into businesses and industries, the demand for people who can speak its language is skyrocketing.
So prompt engineers are like the AI whisperers, the ones who can bridge the gap between human intentions and AI outputs. That's pretty cool, right?
It is. And it's a career path that's open to anyone who's willing to learn and adapt. You don't need a PhD in computer science. You just need to be curious, creative, and have a knack for problem solving.
So even if our listener isn't planning on becoming a full-time prompt engineer, understanding these concepts is going to be valuable in almost any field, right?
Absolutely. As AI becomes more ubiquitous, the ability to communicate with it effectively will be a huge asset in any profession. It's like learning a new language in a world that's rapidly becoming multilingual.
So learning prompt engineering is like getting a passport to the future of work. I love it. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty of mastering this art, let's take a quick break to let all this awesome information sink in. We'll be right back with more deep dive goodness. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. All right, before the break, we were talking about how prompt engineering is becoming its own career path. Yeah. And honestly, that's just one tiny piece of this whole AI revolution.
Right.
What other impacts are we seeing out there?
I mean, we're really just at the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah.
Think about industries like healthcare.
Okay.
Imagine doctors being able to use AI to, diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
Wow, personalized AI tutors for every kid.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing and a little bit scary, if I'm being honest.
It's true. There are always two sides to the coin.
Right.
But the potential benefits are huge.
Yeah.
Scientists could use AI to analyze massive amounts of data and discover new cures for diseases.
Okay.
Engineers could design more efficient and sustainable energy systems.
So prompt engineering isn't just about writing better marketing copy or generating funny cat pictures.
Right.
It's about tackling some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Precisely. It's about harnessing the power of AI to solve problems and create a better future.
Okay. I'm officially inspired, but let's get practical for a second.
Okay.
We've talked about the what and the why of prompt engineering.
Right.
Now let's dive into the how. What are some tips for actually mastering this art?
The first thing I'd say is to start simple.
Okay.
Don't try to write the perfect prompt right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Begin with basic tasks and gradually increase the complexity.
So baby steps. Don't go from asking for a cat picture to a full-blown movie script on day one.
Exactly. It's like learning any new skill.
Right.
You need to build up your proficiency over time.
Mm-hmm.
And as you experiment, pay attention to the feedback the AI gives you.
Okay.
What kind of output does it generate based on different prompts?
So it's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
You're not just telling the AI what to do. You're learning from its responses.
Right. It's about developing an intuition for how the AI thinks and how to guide it towards your desired outcome.
I like that, developing an intuition. It's like you're learning to speak the AI's language. So what other tips do you have?
Another important one is to be as specific as possible in your prompts.
Okay.
The clearer you are about what you want, the better the AI will be able to deliver.
No.
Don't be afraid to use detailed instructions, examples, or even constraints.
Constraints, like setting boundaries for the AI.
Exactly. You can tell it things like, write a poem in the style of Shakespeare, but make it about a robot uprising.
Yeah.
Or create a logo for a tech company, but don't use any blue or green colors.
Wow, those are some pretty specific instructions. So it's not just about what you ask for, it's about how you ask for it.
That's the art of prompt engineering. And the more specific you are, the more control you have over the output.
This is making me think about all those resources you sent me about prompt engineering best practices in online communities.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of support out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are tons of online communities where people share tips, tricks, and even pre-written prompts that you can adapt and use for your own projects.
So it's like a global brainstorming session for prompt engineers. That's amazing. Okay, I'm feeling more and more confident about this.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that keeps nagging at me.
What's that?
All this talk about AI doing amazing things, writing code, composing music, even diagnosing diseases.
Yeah.
It all sounds a bit too good to be true.
Right.
What are the limitations here? What can't AI do even with the best prompt engineering in the world?
That's a really important question, and one that we should always be asking. While AI has made incredible strides in recent years, it's important to remember that it's still a tool. It's only as good as the data it's trained on and the prompts it's given.
So garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. AI can process information and make connections that humans might miss.
Right.
But it doesn't have true understanding or consciousness.
Yeah.
It can't replicate human creativity, empathy, or critical thinking skills.
So even the most sophisticated AI is still reliant on human guidance and direction.
Absolutely. Prompt engineering is about creating a partnership between humans and AI.
Okay.
Where each contributes their unique strengths.
That's a really powerful way to think about it. It's not about AI replacing humans.
Right.
It's about augmenting our capabilities and helping us achieve things we never thought possible.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the importance of staying up to date in this rapidly evolving field. New AI tools are emerging all the time. Existing ones are being updated with new features and capabilities.
So it's not a one-and-done kind of skill.
Nope.
You need to keep learning and adapting to stay ahead of the curve.
That's right. Make it a habit to read industry publications, attend conferences, and experiment with new tools. The more you learn, the more effectively you'll be able to use AI to achieve your goals.
This is giving me serious information overload in the best way possible.
I
need a minute to process all this amazingness. What about our listener?
We've covered a lot of ground, so let's take a quick break and come back to explore the most exciting part. What the future holds for prompt engineering and how it will continue to shape our world. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I don't know about you, but my head is spinning with all these possibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We were talking about the limits of AI, and honestly, it's made this whole topic even more fascinating for me.
Yeah, it's a constant push and pull.
Right.
What AI can do, what it can't, and like how we humans fit into that equation. But that's what makes this such an exciting time to be exploring this field.
You're right. It's like we're standing on the edge of a new frontier. But for our listener out there who's probably eager to start putting all this knowledge into action, let's talk about the future. What trends in prompt engineering should we be watching?
One of the most exciting trends is the move towards more natural language interfaces.
Okay.
Right now, we're still pretty limited in how we communicate with AI.
Right.
But imagine a future where you can just talk to it as naturally as you talk to another person. So instead of writing out these structured prompts, we could just have a conversation with the AI.
Exactly. And the AI would be able to understand the nuances of your language, your intentions, even your emotions.
Wow, that sounds both amazing and a little bit unnerving.
I know, right?
I can already see the sci-fi movies playing out in my head.
Yeah.
But on a more practical level, what does this mean for prompt engineering?
It means that prompt engineering will become even more important. Because even though we'll be using more natural language, we'll still need to be able to guide the AI towards the outcomes we want.
So it's not about writing less.
Yeah.
It's about writing smarter.
That's a great way to put it. We'll need to develop a deeper understanding of how language works, how to frame requests effectively, and how to anticipate the AI's responses.
Okay, so natural language is one big trend. What else is on the horizon?
Another fascinating area is the development of AI-assisted prompt engineering.
Okay.
Imagine tools that can help you write better prompts, suggest improvements, even generate prompts based on your goals.
So AI helping us to better communicate with AI, that's kind of meta, isn't it?
It is. But it also makes sense. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it can be leveraged to help us use it more effectively.
That's mind-blowing. It's like the AI is becoming its own teacher. Are there any other trends we should be keeping an eye on?
One that I find particularly fascinating is the integration of prompt engineering across different platforms and industries.
Okay.
Right now, we tend to think of it in terms of specific tools or applications. But imagine a future where prompt engineering is seamlessly integrated into everything from search engines to social media platforms to our everyday devices.
So instead of typing in a search query, we could give the search engine a detailed prompt about what we're looking for.
Exactly.
Or we could use prompts to control our smart home devices or personalize our news feeds.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. And as prompt engineering becomes more ubiquitous, it'll have a profound impact on the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
It's like we're on the cusp of a whole new era of human-computer interaction, one that's more intuitive, more personalized, and more powerful than anything we've seen before. But with all this talk about the future, I'm curious to bring it back to the present. What can our listener do today to start exploring the world of prompt engineering?
The best advice I can give is to just start experimenting.
Okay.
There are tons of free AI tools available online. Pick one that interests you and start playing around with different prompts, see what works, what doesn't, and start developing your own intuition for how to communicate effectively with AI.
So it's like learning a new language.
Yeah.
The best way to become fluent is to immerse yourself in it.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help. There are amazing online communities where people share tips, tricks, and even pre-written prompts that you can adapt and use for your own projects.
That's so cool. It's like a global support system for prompt engineers. But, as we wrap up this deep dive, there's one thing I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
All this incredible potential, all this power, it comes with a lot of responsibility. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've talked about the amazing things AI can do, but we also need to be mindful of the potential risks. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
It's like that saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. As we develop and deploy increasingly sophisticated AI systems, we need to be thoughtful about the ethical implications. We need to ensure that AI is used in a way that benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
That's a powerful message to end on. It's not just about the technical skills. It's about using those skills wisely and ethically.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI is in our hands, and it's up to all of us to ensure that it's a future we can be proud of.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basics of prompt engineering to the mind-blowing possibilities of the future.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and I hope our listener feels inspired and empowered to explore this amazing world.
Me too. So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep diving deep, keep experimenting, and keep asking questions. The future of AI is being written right now, and you can be a part of it.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to discover the next breakthrough application, the one to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI. The future is full of potential, and we can't wait to see what you create.
That's a fantastic thought. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.